This is Digital Champions TV. I'm Greg Kirkham, and today I'm speaking with Jim Anstey, founder and CEO of BKLY Inc., based all the way in Brooklyn, New York. Thanks for coming on this show today, Jim.
Thanks, Greg, for having me.
Let's start with you. What inspired you to start BKLY Inc.?
BKLY. So it's a combination. The name comes from a combination of Brooklyn and Berkeley, the four letters in both. And I work in the cannabis industry. And so I was working in California for a whole bunch for an edibles company in California as a CMO, and realized that there's a lot of cannabis companies out there that needed help on their marketing challenges, mid-sized cannabis companies that really couldn't afford to probably hire a senior marketing person, but needed senior marketing help. So my business is a fractional CMO business, and it started in California in 2017.
Wow, yeah, that's fantastic, and especially in a highly regulated industry, I'm sure that there are several things that you run into, barriers, if you will, that you run into with platforms and things like that. How do you get around those in a way that helps build the brand?
Yeah, I think I've always tended to work in quite restricted industries, from alcohol and tobacco and various other industries like that. I think the challenges are to be more creative. I've worked in fashion and e-commerce and various other things too, but have to be more creative. You have to obviously work within the regulations of the law, but to break through is more of a challenge. So that's what I enjoy the most is a good challenge.
Wow. Yeah, and you're taking on that challenge and doing very well at it. So tell us a little bit about some of the recent changes in the industry. I know, a lot of the guests that I meet with on a weekly basis are in highly regulated areas, but they've mentioned that they're seeing a combination between like AI as well as real human content, as well as brand building, playing a really key part of their mixture. What would you say those things are really impacting in the business?
Yeah, definitely. I think there's 100% a role for AI and the role that can play. I, as a marketer, believe in the emotional connection of a brand and the power that has, and I've experienced that kind of growing before cannabis, as you can tell by my accent, from the UK. So I worked in a lot of brands and built one brand in particular to be $1 billion brand, using the digital realm, e-commerce as an important part of that. Coming back to, I believe it's a combination of really kind of analytics and data mixed with that emotional connection of what the brand really is and what it stands for and what that value proposition is. And then, of course, and how AI can help is really in kind of stellar execution and making sure you're getting in front of the right consumer at the right time with the right message.
Yeah, so it sounds like you lean really heavily into the desire-based marketing strategies, as well as strong brand building and the emotional components. So you're speaking to a very broad audience, while at the same time also dialing in on the people that are going to be able to benefit from it the most. Am I too far off base with that?
No, I think I don't want to position myself as purely a kind of brand, as a branding expert. That's not what I do, but I do believe that you have to have the underpinnings of a really good, well thought through brand first. And then of course you adapt it and change it depending upon what the market kind of gives you the feedback on, but having that underpinning and really understanding what their value proposition is and what that, why people are going to care at the end of the day is something which, no matter how good your execution is, unless you have that down, you're going to kind of, you can only go a certain way. So I do think that's important. But then when you get into, with cannabis, it's restricted, as we talked about. So then you really have to focus on, what are the channels that you can use and how do you get the message out there in a creative way? And digital obviously is so important in the executional phase of it too.
Well, you're doing an incredible job at it. So happy that you could come on the show, Jim. Thank you. To learn more about Jim Anstey and BKLY Inc., visit digitalchampionstv.com.